that stick together, and that's because of some temperature differences across our area. We've seen a little bit of sleet mixing in the foothills as expected, and so that's minimized how much is actually collecting for you. And then you get into some dry snowfall in the colder air of the plateau to the Tennessee-Kentucky line, and that actually adds up to even some more impressive amounts, but there is still more headed this way. There's some snow showers in Middle Tennessee. They're pressing this way. Again, you can see where there's been some mixing in parts of Monroe, Blount, Sevier County, and DeKalb County, and even parts of Greene County as well. But right now we've got some good bands of moderate to heavier snowfall that can add to some slushy roads with that wet snow. So you get your tire friction on that snow, creates that slush, and then it can freeze over, especially as we move into some very cold air. It's not, the cold air is still got to move in. This is just a taste of it with the snow. So there is still some visibility issues when you get into some of this wet snowfall happening right now in North Knox, South Knox, as well as east of town, out towards Pellissippi Parkway. I know these are all roads, too, that Kristen Allen's keeping an eye on in your first alert traffic. Then we've got our drier snow plateau to the Tennessee-Kentucky line. Again, this comes down to temperature. So we're getting different precipitation types, even some snowfall types in our area. And that's why it actually adds up more. Literally, when it's drier, light, and fluffy, it just kind of piles right up on top of each other. It's also easier to clear. So then you get your wet snow that packs down a little bit more, which is exactly what we've seen pack down into the valley. So that's why there's a difference of even some 5+ inches of snowfall so far on the plateau to the Tennessee-Kentucky line, and then seeing at least a few inches in parts of the Central Valley, but it drops hard here in that Southern Valley to foothills, like we were warning you about could happen in our first alert forecast. So that's where you have these temperature differences. It's 30 right now in Knoxville, but 33 Pigeon Forge. Doesn't take much, just a little difference. 34 Greenville, 33 Maryville, even reading 37 right now in Tellico Plain. So that's why it's more wet versus wet snow versus your dry, fluffy snow. 21 right now in Crossville to 18 in Oneida and Williamsburg. So obviously we're going to continue to keep an eye on this for you. Like I said, we've got this wintry weather we're focused on this first alert weather day, but those days continue Tuesday to Wednesday because ice is a concern on those roads. But speaking of roads, let's get a look at how things are looking right now with Kristen Allen and your first alert traffic.
Yeah, first alert traffic not looking good at all at this point in the day. Now, we've been keeping an eye on this for you all morning, and it's really continued to be a problem for us. Here's a live look out at Alcoa Highway just south of the Tennessee River. You can see several cars there in the shoulder, in the median, sliding off the road this afternoon. So this is really the scene everywhere as we're cutting across the area. This is 75 at Merchants Drive in North Knoxville this afternoon. You can see it is slow going through there. However, we are following a jackknife tractor trailer there on 75 South near Emory Road that has a couple of lanes blocked. Now, this is a fluid situation out there as crews are doing their best to get that all cleared up. But it is going to be a while before this is clear, especially with that snowfall that we're still seeing. Hopping back out to Roane County this afternoon, where we've followed another jackknife tractor trailer that has continued to cause problems for folks there on 40 East in Kingston. So again, continuing to see a lot of issues all over the area. Asheville Highway, slow going for folks that are getting out. But the big message here, if you don't have to get out this afternoon, then don't. Stay at home, stay warm, and avoid traffic situations like this. This is I-40 out at Rutledge Pike, where you can see traffic flow is moving up a bit, but still conditions you don't want to be out in if you don't have to this afternoon. Pellissippi Parkway really being a problem area for us as the afternoon continues in. You can see we've got a car over here on the side of the road. Pellissippi west of Westland. Pellissippi really starting to see a lot of snowfall as the day goes on. Casey.
And Kristen, you've been in direct contact with TDOT today. We know they brined the roads last night and they're working to make those plows go through, but it's kind of hard to keep up because the snow's still falling.
Right. TDOT's Mark Nakey told me that they had pre-treated as much as they could, but with this snowfall like we're seeing continuing to come down, it's fighting the refreeze now. That's really the issue. So we're continuing to keep an eye on that for you, but not looking good out there right now.
All right, Kristen, thanks for that update. Take a look at some of this video also we're getting. This is in Kingston, Bearden area. This is on Kingston Pike. You can see just tracks on the road as people are kind of moving slowly through the area. It's just a good idea to stay inside if you can. I know a lot of people do have to be out for different reasons, but you just want to be careful. We're also taking a look at some of the photos you've sent us from around East Tennessee. This is from Gail in Coreyton. A lot of people interested in just how much snowfall we will get, and that is something our weather team is continuing to track around the clock. And then also, I think our furry friends are having a good time out and about. My dogs at first were like, wait a minute, what is this? And now I think they're playing. They're having a good time. But this is in Jamestown. Thank you, Don, for sending this in. And really now is a great time to download the WVLT First Alert weather app. It is free to download in the Apple and Google Play stores. You're going to get up-to-the-minute information directly to your phone, no matter where you are. Well, thanks so much for joining us for this WVLT First Alert Weather Day. WVLT News starts at 3:30 through 6:30 tonight on the CW Knoxville. We've got a playoff football game that starts at 4:30 on CBS, so you can watch our news there on the CW Knoxville. We hope to see you there. Stay safe.
And then I saw her head go down. She must have been reaching for something.
And well, good Monday afternoon. First Alert meteorologist Jacob Durham here. You just heard from our chief meteorologist Heather Haley, as well as our Kristen Allen and Casey Wheelis, about what we're seeing here across East Tennessee. And still a lot going on as snowfall continues across much of the valley back along the plateau. And temperatures are going to begin to cool pretty quickly once the sun does go down tonight. So it's going to make things pretty icy. TDOT out there, of course, collecting and trying to treat those roads, get ahead of the storm. You can see some video of that shot earlier today as they begin to roll out. And really, a lot of the roads are just very slushy right now. There are some snow beginning to build up, but thankfully not a lot of ice. Thankfully, at least here in Knoxville and around the interstates, we haven't seen a lot of that ice. It's been more so of that snowfall that's kind of creating that slush out there. You can see some of this video that was shot traveling down Interstate 40 there as well. Slow going out there, so don't take it too fast. And you can see, of course, some of those traffic cameras. This is looking at I-40 at 275. You can see a little bit of that slush, especially on the sides, the untreated portions of the highway there. And sliding to the next TDOT cam, we can see that this is I-40 East. This looks to be down in Roane County. This is at mile marker 363. You can see still a lot of snow there, kind of in the middle there on the grassy surfaces, a little slushy accumulation along portions of the roadway as well. But traffic's still moving okay, at least at the moment. As long as you're on the main roads, they're pretty good. It's more so the back roads that you might be having a bit of a concern. This is I-75 at Callahan Road. Notice it's very wet. The roadways are just wet here. We don't see much of that white slush that we're seeing in other areas. Now going the opposite direction there, you can see some of the lanes might be a little bit restricted, but overall traffic's still moving okay. You just got to take it a little slow out there moving forward. This is another look, I-40 East, a bit of a different story. This is at mile marker 398. So this is heading down towards Strawberry Plains. You can see that we are dealing with some slushy accumulation here. The snowfall coming down pretty good at the moment in this particular area. Still, cars moving along just fine. This is I-40, I-75 there at the weigh scales, kind of down there at the split. Traffic moving along nicely. You can see a lot of the slush being pushed up behind that, the traffic that is, but at least so far, not seeing any wrecks, at least in this neck of the woods. But we are keeping a close watch on this WVLT First Alert Weather Day for you, of course, as we are tracking additional snowfall through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening hours. Here's a live look at that radar showing the heaviest of snow really across the valley. We've seen some mixing at times across the foothills as well as the mountains, which have cut down snow totals there. And we'll take a look at what people have gotten so far, at least based on radar estimates here at the station. About 3 inches, a little bit more has accumulated since I last measured, so we'll try to get some updated totals on that as we head a little bit closer to the start of the show. But you'll see a lot of this is lifting off towards the north and east. There might be a few dry slots here and there as the snowfall rates will decrease. You can see a little bit of lighter snow there for Crossville, but as we push back towards the west, you'll see Jamestown to Monticello might be getting a little break. Doesn't mean that it's over. It's just kind of a little bit of a dry spell that we're under right now. More snow back to the west, and we'll kind of take a wide view, and you'll see from Nashville down to Columbia, Huntsville, that's where we're seeing the next batch of really heavy snow moving through. So we still have several more hours of this before this is all said and done. Snow is coming down at Ober Mountain, at least at this particular point in time. You can see kind of heavy, wet snow, much like what we're seeing here. It's more so back along the plateau that we're seeing that dry snow. The reason being the temperatures are just so cold. 18 in Jamestown, 21 there in Crossville to 28 Tazewell, 30 in Morristown, 32 Sevierville to 31 in Maryville, and it's all about that degree difference between that rain to that snow. We've seen it in Sevierville happen a couple of times today where it's been snowing heavy. All of a sudden, then it's raining, and then it's back to snowing as temperatures drop back. 26 right now in Harriman, but we've held pretty steady right there at that 30-degree mark pretty much all morning and into the early afternoon hours, as it is now about 1:44. So Let me look at some of these totals. Here's a look so far at what we're projecting. At least models are projecting how much snow has fallen. You can see really the plateau. That's the big winner so far. Anywhere between, say, 5 to 7 inches there potentially. We'll zoom in a little bit closer and show you from Jamestown to Monticello to Stearns to Oneida. That's where some of the heaviest of snow has come down. Still a couple inches here across Knoxville, across Knox County, but you can see that sharp gradient there extending just south and east of Maryville over towards Gatlinburg, where the snow's just not quite as heavy at the moment. So let me read a couple of these comments and questions if you're watching. Let's see. Snowing in West Knoxville, over 4 inches in Cosby, where I live. Thank you for that report, Linda. Let's see. 2 inches in Von Orr. It stopped snowing for now. Wife is making a big pot of chili. That sounds like a very a good way to spend the evening, a pot of chili. 6 inches in South Clinton. Thank you for that report. Let's see. 4 inches in the Powell High area. Thank you. Almost 5 inches in Rutledge. South Clinton and 6 inches, 4 inches in Athens, of course, and 6 inches in Luttrell, what we're dealing with right now. But check out the Zoo Knoxville cam. Absolutely gorgeous scenes out of there. This is from the Otter cam. I wish I could see the otters out there playing, but they're probably staying inside, trying to stay a little bit warm right now. But some pretty good views coming out. The snow's still coming down pretty heavily there in East Knoxville as well. So what are we talking about with these alerts? Still a winter storm warning in effect until your Tuesday morning. That is what we're keeping a close watch on, of course, as we're still projecting some accumulating snowfalls over the next little bit as we head through the rest of this evening. So potential impacts, still snow for the rest of this evening. Then we're tracking the cold temperatures as we head into the middle of the week. Many areas are going to be back into the single digits come Wednesday morning, and it'll feel even colder with a little bit of breeze. Thankfully, the wind's not a big concern for us, only about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but we will be watching those winds make it feel closer to zero, maybe a little bit below, depending on just how cold it is coming up over the next couple of mornings. But ice is also going to be a factor as crews continue to treat the roadways. Hopefully those will improve. They'll get out there, especially once the snow begins to taper off a little bit. We've just seen some very heavy snowfall rates so far across Knox County. That's why some of the roads are a little bit slushier in a few locations. So as we head through the rest of this afternoon, you can see that those heavy downpours and heavy showers, snow showers that is, continuing across much of the valley. You'll see that as we head closer to 5 o'clock, we're seeing more of that, and that's going to linger all the way through 9, 10 o'clock tonight as this snow will continue to gradually taper just a little more as we head into your Tuesday morning, and that's when we're finally beginning to dry things out just a little bit. So the impact map, still the highest really across the I-40 corridor, and it's really doing a pretty good job of showing you exactly where that heavy snow line is at the moment. You can see right to the south and east of Maryville, that's where we're dealing with that sharp gradient. I'll pull it full screen just for you just 1 second and show you what I'm talking about. You can see where we just showed you that snow contour map is where that sharp gradient has been. So that's Maryville to Gatlinburg to Newport to Greenville, where temperatures are at or just slightly above freezing, and then much heavier issues a little bit farther back towards the west. So that's what we're looking at least as of now. There's another one. Let's see. Raining in Sevierville. Thank you, Thomas, for sending that in. That's a great report because that's something that we're keeping a close watch on, and exactly how much mixing is going on and where that rain snow line is, because that's what's going to really cut down these totals. And this is a pretty good representation. The pink could probably come down just a little bit to include southern Knox County right now, because that's mostly snow from what we're seeing in our reports at the moment. So that's what we're kind of looking at there, and that mixing and should transition back to a little bit of snowfall as we kind of wrap things up by the end of this storm. So that's just what we're dealing with right now. I mentioned, though, that we are tracking the possibility of more ice developing as we head through the overnight as temperatures are dropping. So snowy today. Snow count tapers as we head towards Tuesday and Wednesday, and then it's very icy out there, and that's what we're going to be keeping a very close monitor on. Of course, roadways will be treated. Temperatures are going to be so cold, some of those brine and salt solutions may not be quite as effective, so that's why we're going to keep a close watch. And we're telling you, if you don't have to get outside, don't. Just go ahead and stay indoors. Speaking of that, let's take a look at some of these closings that we're seeing at the moment. Let's take this kind of full screen. I'll show you what we're talking about. So this is Anderson County Schools. They're closed through the 17th. So let's see. Today's 15th, so that's 17th. That's through Wednesday. So Anderson County already calling it through Wednesday. Bell County is closed through the 17th. That's Wednesday as well. Blount County Schools closed through Wednesday. So a lot of these schools are already calling off at least the next couple of days. Claiborne, the same. Let's see. Clinton City Schools closed through Wednesday. Cleveland State, that's closed on Tuesday. Cott County Schools closed through Wednesday as well. Just reading some of these. Cumberland County Schools Wednesday. And of course, all these school officials, they will be updating you, and you'll get those notifications if your children go there. Fentress County Schools closed through Wednesday. Granger County Schools closed through Wednesday as well. Just kind of going through these. Jefferson County, more of the same. That's through the 17th. Knox County Schools already calling it through Wednesday as well. Let's see. What else do we have? Lenore City Schools. All these schools basically closing through the Wednesday time frame because of the snow that we're dealing with at the moment. And that's going to refreeze, and it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So you can see as I scroll down here, all these school closings, and you can get that in the WVLT weather app, or you can get that rather on the Facebook page as well as on our website, WVLT.tv. Even the University of Tennessee is closed tomorrow due to these heavy snowfall events. And you can see that. Just click on closings and delays. It'll pop it right up for you and have a great way to look at that, of course. So nonetheless, we're tracking more icy conditions as we head through the overnight. Let's take a look at some of those viewer pictures. We'd love to see those. Please send those in if you can, and we'll share those online for you. Look at this. This is an edible snowman. It looks like they put some carrots on there, some apples maybe, some strawberries or cherries for the eye. So it's beautiful. Here's a view from 4.5 inches. This is in Clinton and still snowing. That was about 27 minutes ago. And then so many cute little dog pics coming out as well. This is from Jennifer. Cupcake Joy and Oreo Grace are all enjoying the snow. Look at them. They're all having a blast. My favorite is this picture probably right here. It's probably like, Mom, it's a little cold out, but we're having a great time. Let's see. What else do we have here? Monticello. Here's a beautiful picture from Monticello. We'll kind of pull that up full screen and show you a beautiful picture of a fence line, a barn in the background as well. You can see Snowball throwing with the puppy out there, enjoying it on the back patio. This is from Nestor, just having a blast. So a lot of people getting out and enjoying it here. You can see that we do have a lot of snowfall coming down, some covered roadways here and there. That one's from a while ago. This is about an hour ago. This is Sequoia Hills, nearly 4 inches, and it is still snowing. You can see a hawk sitting out there in Dandridge as well. So everybody kind of getting out there and enjoying what we're seeing. Of course, you can submit those to the weather balls. You can submit those on our website as well. It's a thing where you can submit your viewer photos, and we'd love to showcase those for you on air, and we, of course, will showcase for those online as well. But for now, that's the way things are looking up. We're gearing up for our shows this evening. Remember, we do have football on CBS today, so we're going to be live, normal shows on the CW all the way through 3:30, all the way through 6:30. Then the 7 to 8 will also be on the CW, and then we'll shift our attention back to WVLT News at 11 tonight. That'll be back on the CBS channel, and then but also we got the 10 o'clock tonight on the CW. So Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley, she's still in, keeping a close watch on these. We got Meteorologist Paige Noel will be here through the evening with us, and of course myself, and we'll of course continue to keep these updates going as we head throughout the rest of the evening. So for now, stay safe, stay warm. If you can avoid getting out on the roadways, that will be the best opportunity. That way you can stay safe as well. We'll see you back on air coming up at 3:30.